Welcome, Libra, to your January monthly horoscope. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol on the desktop version of YouTube. This month begins with that amazing collection of energy in the sign of Capricorn. But let's just focus in on the role of Saturn. Saturn over the last couple of years has probably been testing you a little bit about where you live, how you live there, who with, or potentially around your emotional situation, your inner relationship to yourself, or around family connections. And it's true that Saturn can be quite a tough taskmaster. But also Saturn has been teaching you a great deal, and particularly over the last 6 months or so, as it's got very close to Pluto, which has been in this location, your fourth house, since 2008, and has been deeply transformational. And the two have been pushing you to root out of your situation that and those which no longer serve your greater purpose. So it probably has been quite a tough journey at times. But as we enter into this new year, although there is going to be that big collection of energy across the 12th and the 13th of January, there's actually a lot of cause for joy for you as 2020 unfolds. And it begins in the guise of Venus, your ruler, which is in the most sensational location as this month begins, the sign of Aquarius, which is playful for you, it's flirty, it's also very charismatic. It can give you a real sense of your attractiveness, a heightened sense of it, but there's more, because the moon, the more receptive part of your situation, is actually in a very practical zone in the sign of Pisces, but it's combining with Neptune, so your compassion is going to be heightened this month. But the Sun, of course, is in Capricorn along with Saturn and Pluto. And the Sun in this location is making you think about security, your structures, and just how things work in the basic foundations of your existence. But the midpoint between the Sun in Capricorn and the Moon in Pisces puts it right by Venus in Aquarius. So this is a glorious opportunity for you to embrace both Venus and that midpoint between the more masculine energies of the Sun and the more receptive and feminine energies of the Moon. So that's going to give you a lovely balance. So even if there are some things that you still need to go through, which are challenging, that is going to give you a lot of heart. Also, Mars is in a very hearty location as this year begins, and that's going to give you the desire to improve the foundations in the more fiscal part of your life, to make sure that finances are working for you, money's coming in, you feel well provisioned and provided for. And your drive to achieve this is going to be a backdrop for the whole of the year. Now, Mars, it's true, does switch into the sign of Sagittarius, which is wonderful for you, on the 2nd. And once it does, that's going to see a speeding up in your thinking, and it also potentially can see you getting much more active in the following 6 weeks. But back to that fourth house, that very, very close alliance between Saturn and Pluto gets ever closer until it gets exact in week 2. So for the whole of week 2, from the 6th to the 13th, they are precisely together. But as you come into this new year, Jupiter, the planet of growth, of optimism, is actually in your fourth house. So where there has been limitation, where there has been frustration, where there have been obstacles and barriers and delays, Jupiter can bring movement, it can bring an upbeat vibe. Now, technically, Jupiter is in full in the sign of Capricorn, but it's forging an alliance with Mercury as you enter into this new year, which suggests that communications can be better, perhaps with people where there have been strains, Also, some of these communications can be somewhat of a surprise because both this duo are linking to Uranus in the part of your horoscope to do with deep connections, the 8th house. So don't be surprised if there's good news about a property matter, good news about business, particularly a home-based business, or if you're formulating in your mind some kind of plan to be more enterprising in 2020, this is a glorious collection of energy. Now, Jupiter is close to Mercury, but it's not that far from the Sun. So as we enter into this new year, that sense of renewal that Jupiter can bring, that sense that things are possible, that things can go forwards in a higher and better way, is reinforced by the glow of the Sun's innate warmth. So that's a lovely association too. Now, by the 2nd, Mars relocates. By the 7th, Jupiter moves forwards and is connecting exactly with the South Node. The South Node, the end of the nodal point or axis, is very much to do with the karmic side of things. And something good can come to pass if you're wanting to expand your family. If you are wanting to move somewhere that's more comfortable or warmer or quieter or spend more time in nature, this is a lovely connection. We also have Ceres, the asteroid and dwarf planet of nurture, is also in Capricorn. It is true, however, that by the annular lunar eclipse, which occurs on the 10th, there could be some more worldly matters calling out for your attention. But if you do want to be more successful in order to drive that level of comfort, support, protectiveness and nurture at the very base of your world, then this lunation could work very well over the next 6 months. I just think if you are making a pitch for some kind of promotion, it needs to be in a way that really makes you feel comfortable. So just having status alone probably won't be what you need at the moment. It needs to work in your heart and in your soul. Then that brings us to this awesome collection of energy, the 12th and the 13th. The Sun, Mercury, Ceres, Saturn, Pluto. Amazing. Very, very rare indeed. And it does point to the fact that if something isn't going to work for you, that you have been trying desperately hard to make work, this may be the point where you do need to draw a line in the sand, especially in relation to this lunation, this annular lunar eclipse, and let go of the things that aren't working for you. These could be memories, it could be attitudes, it could be patterns of behaviour, but it's very much to do with your conditioning and perhaps linked to the mother or the early part of your existence. And if something has changed because the world is changing at such a breakneck pace and it's not working for you in the here and now, then do seriously think about jettisoning it. But also this can be a time of breakthrough. So if some things are going, other things can be growing, and in the most glorious of ways. By the 14th, however, your ruler does relocate into a more practical location. And if you do need to use your natural charm and diplomacy at work, this will help you over the following 28 days. But Mercury moves on the 17th, followed by the Sun on the 21st, and then we have an Aquarius new moon on the 24th. So it's Mercury into Aquarius, Sun into Aquarius, Aquarius new moon, and this is absolutely fantastic for you. And with Venus and that midpoint at the start of the year, despite the fact that there is going to be this stuff going on at the core of your existence or deep within you, I still feel that there's going to be a very enterprising, outgoing and bubbly part of you that's going to be fermenting in a very positive way as January unfolds. It is true that Mars does square up with Neptune in the last week of January, and that can be a little bit tricky. It's possible that you could find yourself a bit drained if you're trying to do too much. It is going to be important to pace yourself, to prioritise, make sure your boundaries are reinforced all through this year, because with Neptune conjunct the moon on your solar return, there is the potential for you to reach out and support those who are less fortunate, which is absolutely amazing and so wonderful. Much better to be generous to a fault than mean to a fault. But sometimes it's still important to know when to say no. And I think as this month draws to a close, this is one of those times. I would like to see you invest in much more time and energy in your talents, in having fun, in socialising, in demonstrating to people just how charismatic you can be. And certainly, if you are looking for a new romantic relationship this year and you do connect with someone who does have that simpatico, that sensitivity, yet at the same time the brightness of mind and mode that you can really be lit up by, you really will be on to a winning thing. If you'd like to know what 2020 will hold for you as an individual beyond your sun or ascendant, please see the link beneath this video. You can order your year's forecast plus get 30% off. But for now, I'd like to wish you a very happy new year. Good luck and goodbye for now.